April 2022 ended up being a really great month for our budget, a not so great month for our net worth. Today I'm going to walk you through all of it to show you how we spent every single dollar of our income and give you that net worth update. Hey guys, I'm Marissa and welcome back to my channel. Here on my channel we talk about life and money and how you can enjoy life and still accomplish financial goals through the use of a budget. And so I share my household budget here every single month on YouTube. So if you want to stay tuned about our upcoming budgets and more budget videos, then subscribe to my channel so you won't miss anything. I also have a new course coming out and I'm so excited about it. It's all about what I share on my channel all the time, which is about how you can enjoy life and still accomplish financial goals. And this goes in depth into budgeting, how to create a budget and optimize your budget so that you can live out the dream life that you want and still be able to accomplish financial goals and enjoy life along the way. So this course launches very soon. I will have a link down below for you to enter your email into a course waitlist, and that way you'll be notified when the course goes live along with a special exclusive discount, so you can check that out there. And I'm super excited for this course to launch and want it to be really helpful for you guys, as this is something that I love to share about here on my channel, all about how you can use a budget to be able to enjoy your life. That's the whole point of budgeting, right? So without further ado, let's get into this budget report, because it was a really great month for our budget, like I said, but man, I don't know about you guys, but the stock market really impacted our net worth this month. So let's get into it. So first off, we have our income section of the budget. I have my husband Jacob's income and my income individually blocked out. My husband Jacob works in product marketing. He is a W-2 employee for a company, but he does work remotely from home. I work here on YouTube and social media doing my business. So I do pay myself a salary out of my business. I have this blocked out just for privacy for my husband's employer and everything like that, but I do show you other income. This month, I actually was planning to have some additional income come in because I sold some stock. I have a little bit of individual stock. It's definitely not my main investing strategy, but I've had a little bit of it, and I had stock invested in a company that I just don't feel like I can support anymore financially. So I sold that stock off. So here's what I got from that. And I did make money on the sale of the stock. So I guess that's a good thing. But as you can see, we had some extra income. That is what that other income is come in at $983.18. So our total household income for this month is $8,931.38. So this is all of our income after taxes, insurance, 401k deductions, HSA deductions, dependent care FSA deductions, all of the things. So now we are moving into the expense section of the budget. We use a zero-based budget, which is total income minus all of your expenses, debt, and savings, and the end of that should equal zero. And I dive into how to create your zero-based budget, what that means, all of the budgeting things that you need to know in this upcoming course. And so the expenses that we have here, first we have is our tithe. We are Christians and we believe in giving to our church and other organizations. And we also support 2 children in Rwanda through Africa New Life. So I have that here as well. We then support an additional missions organization monthly. So I have all 3 of those just blocked out for privacy. But our mortgage is listed here, and we live in Portland, Oregon. We own our home. We bought in September 2019. And this payment is made up of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. We did get rid of PMI a little over a year ago. So that payment is now $2,206.28. And that is a little less than 25% of our take-home pay, which is great. Next we have is our HOA. We live in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, so that is an expected expense that we have every single month. Next we have is water sewer. This ended up being actually a lot less than what I expected. We paid $85.41 for this. This is normally right around $95, so it was a bit lower this month. Then we have natural gas for the heat in our home. We spent $52.78. This would be March's bill, but I will say that April in Oregon, in Portland, ended up being like the wettest, coldest April on record. Like, it was awful. It snowed in April. Like, schools were shut down. When does that happen? But anyway, so I expect also May's bill to be a little bit higher because we're still heating our home. And I'm not sure when we'll ever run our air conditioner, so I'm definitely ready for spring. But $52.78 is what we spent. Next we have is trash, and we pay our trash every other month. This month was a trash month. It's normally every single month $58.72. This month it ended up being a tiny bit lower at $55.90. I have no idea why, because it's always been $58.72. Next we have electric, and we ended up spending a little bit less than what I thought. We spent $63.77 on electric for this month. Then we have internet at $44.99, which is standard. Next we have is our phones. This is for mine and my husband's cell phone bill. Then we have insurance, and this is for car insurance for both of our cars at $122.17. I need to update that insurance amount because I think we just hit like the semi-annual like renewal thing for it, so it just changed a little bit, so I need to update that number. Then we have life insurance. We do have a policy on myself and my husband Jacob. We spend $52.89 each month on life insurance, which is important. Then we have groceries. I'm really proud of us here. We budgeted $450 and we actually spent $432.84. Our household consists of my husband Jacob, myself, our almost 2-year-old son Peter, and then I'm also expecting another baby boy due in June. So we are feeding a family of 3. We also do HelloFresh every month, and every week, and we really enjoy that, and so that also is something that would go in this groceries line item. But full disclaimer, I have not been paying for HelloFresh myself because a lot of you guys have actually used my referral code to sign up for it. So when you sign up for HelloFresh, you get a $120 credit through my referral link, and then I get a $10 credit. So those have added up, and I've had some free HelloFresh meals for this month, which is helpful. So thanks to everyone who used my link, got some free meals. We really enjoyed doing HelloFresh. I paid for it all myself in the beginning before I started, sharing about our experience with it, but we've really enjoyed it. I feel like I'm learning to cook more. We're eating healthier. It's been just a really great part of our weekly meal planning now. And honestly, with the cost of like the increase in groceries, I did a whole cost breakdown and don't feel like it's that much more than what we would have spent if we had to buy all of those things ourselves or, plan out those meals. So I did a review video of sharing like the cost breakdown, and I'll leave a link to that up above if you want to check out that video. But if you also want to check out HelloFresh, you can try it out, get $120 credit. I'll leave a link to that down in the description box below, and you can try it out and see if you like it, and you can cancel or skip a week at any time, but we've really enjoyed it. Next, we have eating out, and this is another winner. How crazy that we were under on food and groceries and eating out this month. So we budgeted $150. We spent $142.97 this month on eating out. Next we have is gas, and this was also under. We budgeted $175. We spent $113.47. I think this is just because the way that the fill-ups worked with our month, so I think that we have to fill up our car here pretty soon, so may be a higher month for gas, and we'll see how that goes. Next we have is fun. We budgeted $50 for fun this month, random fun things to do for a family, and we spent $32.99. Pretty fun. Then we have miscellaneous. This is where we went wrong, I guess. We budgeted $100 and we spent $147.91 on miscellaneous, so not the best. Next we have is Peter. We put $50 a month into a brokerage account for our son Peter. This brokerage account is actually in our names, but we plan to be able to gift the money out of that brokerage account to our son at different parts of his life. Like, we'd love to be able to help him with his first car someday, or like a wedding, or even a down payment on a house. And so we are just putting money into that brokerage account right now. Next we have is college, and so we're putting $200 a month into Peter's 529 college savings plan, already starting to save for those college expenses for him. And I have both of these in the expense section just because that's money that goes out of my household, and I'm not keeping track of it myself because that's going off to be like invested somewhere else. And I just make sure that that clears my account every month. I have that set up on like an auto transfer, and that I just make sure that that gets deducted each month. So at the end of our expenses, our grand total, we budgeted $5,007.83. We actually only spent $4,958.83. Which that's awesome. It's been a long time, I feel like, since we've been under budget on all of our expenses, so that's a huge win. So now let's move into the savings section of our budget. This is the section that I really love because we're working on a lot of big goals here, and I love being able to save money. So the first thing that we have here is our emergency fund. And this is where every extra penny is going for us right now. We initially wanted to increase this to $15,000, but in my recent budget video, I talked about how we wanted to actually bump this up to more like $20,000, just given inflation. And the last 2 years feels like every day is like uncertain with finances happening right now. But we just want to have like extra cushion there, and we also are becoming a family of 4. So I just think that it's time for us to increase that even a little bit more. So we're going to move that up to $20,000 for us. And so we are putting every extra penny there. And we did cross that initial like goal threshold of hitting $15,000 this month. So our balance is now at $15,259.93. So next we're moving into other sinking funds that we have. Jacob and my personal spending money. Jacob gets $250 each month and I get $100. The only reason why I get less is because Jacob is more of a spender and wants to spend money on those kinds of things. I don't really care that much, but I'd rather have more money go to like other financial goals, but I'm totally happy and supportive that he has that much to spend. So he actually is over budget. He's over in his fund. He's now at negative $79.22. I have $410.97. I spent $125 this month. A big chunk of that was I got my nails done, my fingers and toes mani and pedi. So that was a larger expense that came out of my personal fund this month. Also, another thing that I will mention in regards to our sinking funds, because I feel like I get this question quite often, the way that we have our sinking funds structured is I take the grand total of all of those sinking funds and keep them in one account. Then I use my budget spreadsheet to know how much is in each. I know some people will open up a sinking fund for each individual thing they're saving for, but I just don't really care to do my budget that way, but do whatever is going to work best for you. But so that's why like this fund is negative, but we don't have a bank account balance with a negative balance, if that makes sense. So now moving into extra giving, we put $50 a month into extra giving, which allows us to say yes to additional giving opportunities if they come up. And so that now has $157.81. Then we have gifts. Normally we're only putting like $50 a month into gifts, but April is a huge birthday month for our family. We have I think 4 family birthdays in April, and then our son's birthday, he's turning 2 in May, and we also bought his gift this month. We got him like an outdoor climber, and I'm really excited about it, but it was over $300. So we spent a lot of money on gifts this month, obviously $558. So we put more to this fund this month for that reason, and we're still a little bit negative here at $66.56. Next we have is clothing. We put $25 a month into clothing, and we actually spent a little bit of that, $94.01. We are going on vacation in the month of May, so we did buy a few other like clothing items for that. So we're now at negative $33.35. Okay, I'm now doubting that I said that this was a great budget month because so many of these funds are now negative. Not the best. Okay. Next we have is vacation. We did spend a little bit of money. As I said, we're prepping for that vacation. So we're now at $840.61. We're going to Southern California and Disneyland, and I'm super excited about it. Next we have is Christmas, and we have $300 saved for that. We're not putting anything else to it for the rest of the year because we use a credit card and we pay it off every single month in full. We use it responsibly, and that earns us cash back, which we then apply to Christmas at the end of the year. So I actually think we're going to be good based off of what I've saved here and then what we'll earn in all of that cash back, that I don't need to put anything else to Christmas for the rest of the year. Next we have is medical. This is a big one that we're saving right now, and the reason why we're not able to, I guess, tackle that emergency fund as quickly as we would like. But like I said, I am having a baby in June, so we are expecting to have some big medical costs this year. We're on a high deductible health plan. We also have an HSA, which we are maxing out for the year, but our plan is to pay for all of our expenses out of pocket. We're not going to touch the HSA. Instead, we're going to save all of those receipts, and we're investing the dollars in our HSA. So we're trying to take advantage of the triple tax advantage that an HSA has. With an HSA, you put money in after tax, it can then be invested and those dollars can grow tax-free, and then you can take it out tax-free to be spent on qualified medical expenses. which is awesome. And so we want to use that triple tax advantage as much as we possibly can. So that's why we're more looking at the HSA as a longer term investment right now and paying for the medical expenses out of pocket. So I expect that we will have all of the money saved to hit our max out of pocket by June or July, and this baby's due in June, so we should be covered by the time all the medical bills roll around for that. But we are paying for things out of pocket right now for any kind of medical that we're going to. So this month we spent $409.97, and we now have $552.80 in that fund. Next we have is cord blood registry. We did cord blood banking with our son Peter, and through cord blood registry we had a great experience. We're not doing it for our second son, but we love doing it for Peter, and there's like a chance that our second son could be a match as well. So that's why we aren't doing it for each of them. But that's coming due. We have an annual fee that's due for that, and that is now at $341. Next we have is dues and subs. We have other dues and subscriptions that come up during the year that always seem to surprise us. Like they shouldn't surprise us, but it's like one of those annual fees, and then we're like, oh yeah, we forgot that we have to do that, like a Costco membership or something like that. So now we're just saving for all of those things little by little over the month, and that way we have money in our budget for it. Then we have car maintenance. We put $75 a month into car maintenance to cover, obviously, car maintenance types of expenses. Then we were putting $400 a month into house maintenance to cover house-related repairs. So we spent $135 this month, and we now have $986 there. Next we have is household. We put $100 a month into household, and this is for things like paper towels, toilet paper, soap, detergent, like all of those kinds of things. And we spent $48.94, and so that's actually at a negative $10.59. Next we have is baby, and this is basically any expense that we have for our son Peter, for clothing, diapers, toys, any other baby things that we need because we have a child that like gets bought for him. So I actually increased this to 200 instead of 100 in the middle of the month because we were spending more on it. So $153.85 is what we spent, and we're still negative $86.16 here. So not great. And I will obviously increase this line item and just include it for both boys once our second son is here. And I feel like we're just always over on this category lately. So it may just be time for us to like increase that. But also, again, I know that come July, we're going to be sporting 2 children and their monthly expenses. So that's definitely going to go up. Oh man. Next we have is baby number 2. And we've been saving $285 a month into this baby number 2 fund to cover any sort of expenses that we need as we're preparing for this second baby. So because I'm having a second boy, I don't need a lot of stuff, but there are a few things that we've had on our list that we need to buy for the baby, and so we're saving that little by little with a sinking fund from January till June. So $285 is what we put in. We actually spent $147.22 this month. I used my registry completion coupon with Amazon to get 15% off like the things that we needed from Amazon. So that's a big thing that we spent money on, and we now have $44.26 in there. So altogether, we saved $3,972.55 towards our savings or sinking funds, which was a great win, a little more than what we initially expected. So the total out here is calculating the expenses and savings section because we are debt free besides our mortgage, which I have listed just as an expense because we're just paying the minimum on it right now. And so this difference cell here should take the difference between the income minus the expenses, debt, and savings portion, and that equals 0. And that's how we know we have a zero-based budget. So all of our income has been allocated and spent, saved, and that is how our budget went for April, which couple little hiccups there of having some negative sinking funds, which I don't love. But overall, I think it was a really great month, and we finished, well, we didn't finish, but we got to that $15,000 threshold with our emergency fund. So excited to get that up to $20,000 hopefully soon. Okay, now let's take a look at the net worth section really fast because this is always fun to be able to track, but wasn't super fun this month. So your net worth is made up of your assets or the things you own minus your liabilities or the things that you owe. So first off, all of our assets, the first thing I have listed here is retirement. This month we put $680 into retirement, and we started with $121,000. We ended with $113,000. So we actually we had a decrease of $8,200, but an unrealized loss because we're not cashing it out. It's not an official loss because we didn't cash it out, but we actually more lost $8,900 this month because of what we put into it. So almost $9,000 is what we saw in a decrease, which is a lot. So that was not great. But let's look at some other assets and things that we have here. We have our house. Our house is really what carried us this month. Our house went up $6,000, which I feel like has been less than what it's been in previous months. I don't know about you guys if you've noticed like houses where you are, if that's kind of like starting to slow down a little bit. But I feel like this month it hasn't been as crazy as what the value has gone up in previous months, where we've seen it go up in like 20 grand in a month. But it went up $6,000 this month. Next we have is our emergency fund, which you saw up there, and then sinking funds. So this is the total of all of the other sinking funds that I have. And like I said, I just keep that amount in an account, and then I know how much is there and can see with my budget spreadsheet how much is in each fund. Next we have is our HSA. Like I said, we're putting money into the HSA to max that out for this year, and we are investing those dollars. So we put money into it, and as you can see, we had another loss. Again, we didn't sell it, but a loss here of $56.80 because the value did go down even. Then we have Robinhood. Like I said, I have a few individual stocks on the Robinhood platform, and I sold some stock there, so that's why this went down as well. That's now at $731.23. Next we have is our Highlander. We have a 2018 Highlander, and I just look at this value with Kelley Blue Book, and that is at $36,166. That went up just a tiny bit. And then our 2013 RAV4 also apparently went up in value. It's at $19,065. So all of our assets, the things that we own, are at $798,602. And then our liability, the only thing we owe money on is our mortgage. So our mortgage balance is now at $382,000. So our overall net worth is at $416,424. So it technically did go up by $830. All of that carried basically by our house value increase, which I just look at Zillow for that. It gives me some sort of basis. But so I guess our net worth didn't go down, but definitely wasn't increasing at the rate that it had previously been in these really great market times that we experienced like last year. So I just have another cell down here to calculate our house equity as we were watching that and interested. So we have $226,000 almost in our house equity, and that is 37% of our home value. So that is our overall net worth. I also have just a tiny little footnote assets section. We save money every month for taxes. I pay quarterly taxes, and then we have that brokerage account for Peter as well as the 529. And all of that money I just don't really consider to be my money because it has a purpose for someone else. So that's now at a little over $10,000. So that is our overall budget update for April, as well as that net worth update. A really great budget month, not a super great net worth month. So let me know in the comments how your April went. How was your budget? How was your net worth? Let me know. I'm really excited to share that course with you guys this month, so you can get on the wait list with that link in the description below. And with that, I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.